Hello and welcome to Scientifically Speaking. Today I've brought up the second video by Space Weather News, formerly Suspicious Observers, and the reason I've done it is because over the last several years people have been talking about a pole flip and the poles are moving and when is it going to happen, and your mainstream media have said millions of years because, you know, that's what the mainstream media are like, aren't they? But several people made predictions on when they thought it was going to be, and Suspicious Observers, Space Weather News in particular, when they first came out, they stated it was going to be in this century, and then relatively soon they brought it down to like 2060, 2050, and it was at that point, several years ago, while this was going on, that I decided to make my one and only time prediction of the end of the world. And biblically speaking, which just happens to coincide with the planet tipping over, which brings in a lot of problems for the Earth. So I made my prediction mathematically based on faith in the words of the Bible, stating that a day is as 1,000 years and 1,000 years is as a day, relatively. So I took half an hour in heaven of silence while the small scroll was read out, which turns out to be 22.4 years is half an hour in heaven of 1,000 years of a day, or a day is as 1,000 years. And so I added that to when the small scroll was open, which was 2014, and that gave me an answer, which I said publicly on video. I think I've said it once, twice. I think I said it maybe in the last year on one of the videos, and I said it would be around about June 2036, and everybody else was saying 2050 and above, and I've never repeated it because I don't really believe people when they start giving dates. Oh, the world will end next Wednesday, and it never does, right? So we've all seen those stupid videos. That's why I've only said it like twice in the 12 years I've been online here. So 2036 round about June has been my answer when everybody else was saying this century and over 2050, because I went from biblically, it's going to be half an hour of silence in heaven while the rest of the story was told, and it works out to be 22.4 years from 2014 with the opening of the small scroll, gave me 2036 in June. So back to Space Weather News. Yesterday he said it's going to happen drastically sooner, so maybe they'll mention another date and maybe they'll come down to mid-30s. So I haven't really watched the video, so I'll probably chop it up if it's bits that I don't need, so excuse any cuts, but let's have a listen.
Welcome to the new government tracking of the Earth's magnetic pole shift. The brand new site is up and kicking and much better than the old one. We're running the magnetic North Pole motion here, slowly traipsing around northern Canada for a few centuries, and then the acceleration.
So the green shifting ball is also like timed, so the faster it goes, you know it's speeding up.
The magnetic pole shift is a cyclical event on Earth, and it's pretty major. NOAA experienced it. They line up with the Younger Dryas catastrophe, the last glacial maximum, and every Heinrich event in the last 50,000 years. Major losses of species come with every event, and earlier today, in the morning show, we covered two special reports by ALLATRA, a collection of scientists who have also come to the conclusion we're about to experience Earth's disaster cycle. Now, I want to be clear, I have major questions about this group and especially their ringleader, but when they cite their sources, I can review it myself, and there is a lot of good stuff in here. That's what I'm going to show you. In the first report, they identify the fact that there are magnetic anomalies, not just climatological ones, and that can't be blamed on human pollution. In fact, we're seeing changes on the other planets too. It's a solar system shift. But it was the other report that really spun me sideways yesterday, and we're going to go over key points and then two scary points I mentioned this morning. So first, excellent job identifying the fact that Earth's rotation speed is increasing, shortening the length of a day. It's another thing you can't blame on humans. They break down the 1990s pole shift event that sent us from losing 5% of the field per century to 5% every decade, and which shot the movement of the poles into overdrive, along with it taking an abrupt and unexpected 90-degree turn. In a brand new Earth change for the list, they found a paper I missed from 2017 highlighting a molten jet stream in the core, and it's speeding up, which nobody subscribed to my channel finds surprising, I imagine. And of course, their main point was that they think the major event of this cycle will be the reawakening of the Siberian traps, and oh boy, I hope not. It was the greatest volcanic event in Earth's history. It erupted for 1,000,000 years, changed the planet forever. But it was the next two images I'm going to show from the report that really caught my attention. I'm not actually too worried about the Siberian traps. First, this is what I was trying to explain to you guys a couple weeks ago. The magnetic pole shift progression is not linear. It goes up and down year to year, but with a long-term trend towards that acceleration and the pole shift. Outstanding identification here of that moment of acceleration where we started shifting 10 times faster. That is easily visible on the magnetic pole motion tracker. The dots are year by year, so if they're closer together, pole is moving slower. Further apart means the pole is moving faster, and that's the speed up right there. I went ahead and actually did maximum velocity plots going backwards so you can see how before the 1850s, everything was nominal, normal pole motion. The weakening had begun, but this is when the pole shift in total began. Now, going along with this is something I noticed in their motion minus Chandler wobble graphic. Folks, I live and breathe this data, and at no point did I ever think to do this. I had long suspected that the major accelerations occur after the slowdowns, like it's taking a breath, gearing up to lurch forward again. Folks, that's exactly what is shown here. And there is no good way to mathematically or even qualitatively show this without first removing the Chandler wobble, which I never thought to do. After every single slowdown, which all include a curvature of the motion vector, there is a major leap forward in speed and progress in the magnetic pole shift. And yes, it's clear we just had our curve in the vector, the slowdown or stalling of speed acceleration, and that means there is only one thing coming next. The major concern is, of course, that this will be the acceleration that takes us over the edge. I do hope we remember the now famous studies confirming that these magnetic pole shifts accelerate to rapid speeds that can bring the shift in less than 100 years. We have already eclipsed that time in this event, so it's anyone's guess how much time we have left. How much time until the acceleration reaches 100 times faster than modern shift rates? That is where we're going. If we were to hit that rate tomorrow, the world ends before 2030. Hopefully that doesn't happen. I have long said that math is suggesting the pole shift should occur a bit before 2050, in the late 2040s. But that
There's him confirming what I did say he said.
Is an extrapolation. It's not a crystal ball. I'm not Jesus. Folks, we await the next acceleration, the next recurrence of Earth's disaster cycle of space radiation and climate chaos and animal navigation failures, not to mention the fact that we now have the new risk in modern times of losing every power grid at the same time.
And I'm not Jesus either. And Jesus just said nobody knows the hour or the day, but they might know the month and the year.
Folks, the end of the window is unchanged, but now, instead of it being sometime in the late 2040s, I'm now going to say it could be anywhere from 2030 to the late 2040s. We will.
So there you go. So now, finally, Ben has come down to what I said, which was the end will be 2036. And 7 years before that, the tribulation will be 2029. Where, if you have watched any internet stuff, you will find out that that's some kind of mega year for asteroids and AI and AIG and or AGI or whatever it is. But basically, things are only going to get worse. I mean, let's just have a quick chat about what's going on in Europe and the Mediterranean, and every country is fighting itself. It is literally civil war everywhere in the world. So things are only going to get bad now, Governments are just skinning us alive while we're also paying to put other people up. Yeah. Turn to Jesus.
We'll see what the data shows. Again, we are awaiting the next acceleration. I'll see you in the morning for the Daily Show. Be safe, everyone.
And so there you go on what I'd said, that years ago they said it was all these dates, and I said it was 2036. And now he's down to 2030 and anything above that. So I could still be wrong, but what I worked out was no, it's going to happen. And I kind of said that before I knew anything about a lot of this speed up stuff. And then I saw it and just thought,
Architecture
okay,
and interior
well,
design? Find a 3D designer to...
excuse me. So, yeah, I said 2036 5 years ago. Might have been a bit further. Who knows? So, yeah, my advice is to turn to Jesus Christ, who is the Creator God. And his Father is the Father of the Creator God. The Father pulled Jesus, who is wisdom, as forth with labour pains. And then the Word, who is the true representation of the invisible Father. Just like a computer and a screen with a keyboard where you interact with the interface that allows you to talk to the computer, Jesus is the interface that allows us to talk to the Father, and the screen and the box are one. So that's the easy way to explain how the Father and the Son are one. The screen is a representation of what's in my computer box, and they are both intrinsically linked. And whatever I input, the box knows before the screen even knows. So Jesus is the Creator God, and everything was made by him and through him and for him, which means everything was made through him by the Father, who allowed Jesus to create everything so that he would be given the same glory that the Father has, because the King, Jesus, only does what the Father does. Thanks very much. My name is Lee. I follow the Christ and turn to Jesus because the end is coming soon. Sooner than you think anyway. Thanks a lot. Bye.